May it please the court. Members of the jury, have you ever thought what the world would be like if there were not any police officers? There's almost 3 million people in Chicago. What would it be like if there was not anybody to say no? There's almost 13,000 police officers in Chicago. And in the year of 1996, there were 21 reports of incidences where officers were charged with bribery or corruption of duty. And after investigation, 3 of those were sustained and a police officer was punished. 3 out of 13,000 officers isn't too bad. 13,000 officers that are trusted to wear a badge and carry a gun. The plaintiff mentioned the law of negligence, duty, breach, causation, and damages. If you believe the plaintiff's story, you have the elements of those. But his story was a fabrication. There was no negligence. The plaintiff was rightfully shot. The plaintiff is suing the city for 2 different counts. The second count, is what I want to review first, is for $350,000 because the city was negligent in its training of Officer Waldman. And the plaintiff submitted the following evidence to show that negligence. He didn't present any evidence showing a lack of training, that the training was deficient. We don't know what the city needs to do to fix this supposed problem. He felt so strongly that the city was negligent that they should pay $350,000 for it, but they don't have any evidence to show in what way it was deficient. Going next to the first count, claims Officer Waldman was negligent in shooting the plaintiff. Instead of, the plaintiff was trying to kill his partner and he shot him to save his partner's life. So big difference there. We're back to our 2 tales now. Looking at some of the evidence, we'll look further. And as the plaintiff mentioned, there were 2 witnesses. 2 witnesses that saw the same thing. Trained officers that day after day, they observe things and they make reports on what they observed. They're into this sort of thing. If you aren't a trusted officer, you don't end up on the anti-crime beat as a plainclothesman. You get to write traffic tickets instead. Did I mention that the plaintiff was drunk? Something else. During the fight, the plaintiff claims that he knocked Officer Levy down. And during this pause in the fight, he looked over. He saw Officer Waldman in the car, just sitting there. Right or wrong, police officers are adrenaline junkies. When your partner gets in a fight, you respond. You don't just sit there. When your partner gets knocked down, you don't sit in the car and think about it a while. You look out for your partner's back. He looks out for yours. It's very important to police officers to take care of each other. Something else that does not make any sense is the plaintiff didn't hear the gun. It If you've ever fired a .38 pistol, you know it's very loud. It's even louder if it's pointed roughly in your direction. I've never experienced that, but physics says it's louder. If a .38 will make your ears ring. It's that loud. There's not a good explanation for how come the plaintiff didn't hear the gun go off. And there's some other factors that aren't quite so clear. You have bullet path. I'm just glad Officer Levy wasn't shot in a fight. People are moving, they're doing things that, and you're looking for an opening, a weak spot, and bang, you just, he got the right guy, at least. I can't explain the bullet path, but you just have to be leaning in a little bit for that bullet to have ended up in the bottom of the heart. Officer Levy says that he thought the plaintiff was yelling in Spanish. We'll concede the plaintiff probably is not fluent in Spanish, but he probably knows a few Spanish curse words. I've met my share of white people that know a few Spanish curse words. He may have been yelling in English with a Spanish accent. But there's other things that aren't real clear either. And they say he was using his right hand to try to stab with. And while it seems maybe a little unnatural, stabbing doesn't require fine motor skills. And so you don't have to worry about, it works just fine with the right hand. And remember, because the officers responded quickly and promptly and got plaintiff to the hospital, it possibly saved his life. It will not be right to give money to a man who tried to kill one of our officers. When a person commits a criminal act, if we start giving them money, we've got a big problem. Officer Waldman thanks you, the City of Chicago thanks you, and I thank you.